Great. Okay, so just to confirm that you had agreed, Sam, to have this recorded and posted to social media.
It's okay for me if it's
Okay.
recorded. I have no limitations.
Okay, great. So this is, let me just give a little introduction to the situation. There's a conflict in the NVCA, Nonviolent Communication Advanced group. And Barbara had asked for a restorative empathy circle and asked me to facilitate that. And I know you've been involved in it too, for doing mediation, I believe. And the topic for Barbara is she would like to just understand Adrian's views better. And so she's invited several people. I've done pre-circles with, hi. What's your friend? Is that your child's name?
This is my daughter.
Your daughter? What's your daughter's name?
My daughter's name is called Lizzie.
Kolidi?
Lizzie.
Lidi. Oh, Lidi. Lidi. Hi, Lidi. So I just wanted to.
Go to the two questions. Okay, so I've released her. Okay.
Yeah. So I just want to let you know my intention that I'm bringing to it. It doesn't have to be your intention, but for the Restorative Empathy Circle, my intention is to create a culture of empathy, and this means to nurture listening, understanding, care, trust, and a constructive relationship going forward. And for each person in the circle to feel like they can fully express themselves and be heard and understood to their satisfaction. And we use mutual empathic listening for that. So that's just my intention. Doesn't have to be your intention. And just to hold my intention, I just light a candle.
How about you?
So what I'm here for is just to listen to you for as long as you want to be heard about this topic. So I'm just going to empathically listen to you about what are your thoughts and feelings about this issue. And then I'll just do some empathic reflection. So do you have anything you'd like to say about it, or just any thoughts? And I'm here to listen.
Thank you. I think with my daughter, with interfering, I will not say interfering, but then she's a little bit curious. I think it will be okay for you as we even record. So
yeah, you're wondering if it's okay if she's curious, and you're wondering if it's okay if she's recorded, and it's fine with me if it's okay with you.
It's okay with me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so for the last few, I think a month or 2 months, I witnessed a scenario that was really not life enriching for me in social media. After what happened in the United States happened, that is the killing of Youre, and I was a little bit also concerned about or how our NVC community worldwide were receiving this and the steps they were taking about the whole thing.
Can I reflect that? So what I'm hearing is you have not found it life enriching, sort of what happened with Floyd, and then how the NVC community has been addressing that. So you have some concerns about that.
Yeah. Specifically when Adrian shared, I think he was concerned equally when there was, I think, a movement or a demonstration of Black Lives Matter. And on my view, as a Black person, I would say all lives matter. and stepping in to say Black Lives Matters, maybe I'm not aware of a hidden meaning for what they term as Black Lives Matter. And I saw even NVC communities standing, and I have many friends, though I've not met them physically, but through social media, saying, because I checked with some and they were saying, yes, I'm in the protest. We are in the movement. All Blacks Life Matter. And then I was like, hey, will this mean that white life does not matter? That has been something that is hitting me so much. As a trainer, I've enjoyed, if we say all lives matter, and because I'm aware that all human beings have the same needs. So as Blacks would love to be protected, what we term, or the people we label as white, because for me that's just a label, are equally human beings who need some protection.
So
And
what
then
can I
there
just
was,
reflect back what I'm hearing so far? So you're saying that you feel that all lives matter, and that you're, as a trainer, you're just seeing that everyone needs protection. And then people were talking about, oh, we're part of Black Lives Matter, we support that, and you don't quite understand that, because for you, all lives matter and everyone needs protection.
yes, as I'm aware that we all have needs are universal.
Oh, so it's universal needs. We all have universal needs, and just the color is just a label. And
Yeah. And so I was very much concerned and worried when we start a movement, or some friends in the world start a movement of all Black Lives Matters. For me, this was, I'll not term it as a racist, but then it was to me a movement that was very dangerous for peace around the world.
so you're feeling that
Because,
the Black Lives Matter movement is dangerous for peace around the world?
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and I think in one of the Facebook chats, it was brought in, and I think I gave my views, my opinion, as I was trying to connect to the needs of the person who posted it, and feelings. At the same time, I wanted the person also to know how I feel, because for me that was scary, as I have many people, many friends whom we label at the moment white. And so when you tell me it's my life that matters and their life does not matter, because that is what the silent part of it to me was, white lives don't matter. It is not spoken. So I was wondering, what is the need of just standing up and saying all lives matters and we need protection and security, equality and safety, love and care to all? Because I'm staying in Africa, specifically Kenya. We experienced a very dangerous scenario in the last two general elections of 2013 and 2008, 2013 and 2017, when a black police kills a baby who is less than 1 year. That was a black police killing a black baby because of election outcome.
So what I'm hearing then is you would really like to see everyone's feelings and needs, and that's what you try to see. And then you also have concerns that, like in your country, in Kenya, I guess, that there's been a couple of elections, and during one of the elections, one of the black police officers killed a black baby because of the election
Yeah.
issues.
Yes. And so this is when Adrian has been a friend of mine, and we have been in connection for some time. And when I saw the YouTube video he made, I requested to connect with him because an interpretation that I had was that he was really feeling frustrated that his life does not matter anymore. That is what I was receiving from his video. So I wanted to check on his needs and feeling because I was equally for the opinion that his lives matter and he's just like any other human being.
Okay, so I'm
He
hearing
should,
that Adrian posted a video and you felt concerned about that because you felt that he didn't maybe feel like his life mattered, and you wanted to sort of reassure him that you felt that his life mattered, and he's also a friend of yours too.
yes. And I long for a world where when Sam does something that is not life enriching to, for example, Edwin, then Edwin takes that as Sam has done this to me. Not black people do this to us.
So you're like people seen sort of individually. So instead of it being a black or white person that did this to me, it was a human being, another human being, and see them sort of individually is what I'm hearing.
Yes. Yes. So when Ray responded to Adrian, specifically now for the reason as to why this empathy has come, I sense that he didn't check with Adrian's needs and feelings as to the reason as to why he posted what he posted. What I learned that he was he was very annoyed, I would guess. He was frustrated, and he used power over. What I will term as power over to connect with Adrian in the basis of the arguments. So it was more of arguments. I'm aware that he was trying to protect the image of the group. And he was also concerned because I've been in connection with him, that many people were leaving the group. And as an admin, he decided to step in and use what sometimes we call as I term is behavior as a protective use of force. So he decided to jump. Maybe he was willing to connect with Adrians at a later time. He wanted to bring some order and reassure the members who maybe wanted to step out that things are okay and they should feel protected.
So what I'm hearing is when Adrian posted something that Ray sort of responded, and you're trying to understand what Ray was going through, and you understand that he was maybe feeling frustrated. He was wanting to protect the group, and he was maybe using protective use of force to protect the group. And that he probably had some frustration, and so you're just trying to understand, or you have what he was experiencing.
Yes, and he wanted also to bring some order.
Oh, bring order. Uh-huh.
But then for me as a trainer, I think he could have done it differently. As he protects the group image from what he thinks was not life enriching to many members and may have been the reason as to why they were leaving the group. He ought to have, I think, privately, to me, as I give opinion, connected with Adrian privately so that we could stop or protect the image of the what I would term as the abuses that I witnessed.
So I didn't quite understand that, but you think that he could have done it differently to address the issues? What he was seeing as abuse, that he could have addressed it maybe differently?
Privately.
Privately. Oh, that he could have addressed it privately with Adrian.
Yes.
Would have
And
been a
as a
different
trainer,
approach. Uh-huh. And
yes, and as a
you're
trainer,
saying that as a trainer too. Because you're a trainer of NVC.
yeah. So when because for me, Adrian's had a need. Those who are leaving the group equally had a need, and those who are in the group whom we think wanted also to leave also had a need. And it was a blessing that the admin was a trainer who, to me, was in a position to try to connect all these needs so that the end results becomes a win to all.
So you're seeing that everyone had a need there. It was Adrian had a need. The people who were wanting to leave had needs. The people who were thinking of leaving had needs. And so you're going to see the needs of everyone. This was an opportunity to actually, as a trainer, to have maybe a more empathic dialogue or find a way of addressing everyone's needs.
Yeah, and because I've also found myself in such scenario when somebody is very angry, very annoyed. Connecting with such a person at that level becomes a little bit challenging. So what I would have loved is to connect in the basis of needs and feeling until it reaches a point where this person is willing now to open up more. But if you bring the exchange of maybe ideas of don't do it here, this is a different group, don't do it here, or all that sorts of things, we found ourselves where we are.
Oh, so what I'm hearing there is sort of as a trainer, to start with trying to hear the feelings and needs of the person and not sort of engage at sort of an idea level, but try to engage at the feelings and needs level. And maybe by engaging in the intellectual level, it's kind of brought us to sort of the situation that we're in with this conflict.
Yeah. And so I think that is the point where, or that is what has led us or lead us to a point of now Adrian equally leaving the group. And as a human being, even the white who killed this black guy, I think, to me, if I will be a judge, I will not crucify him. I will try to connect with him. Because connect, when there are things that happens in this world that the end results, maybe they happen because of some pressure somewhere. And as an nonviolent, we as a nonviolent community, I think we are requested to look beyond with our actions, we really need to look beyond other person's need. That when we do this, we try to preempt the outcome. If the outcome of what we want to do will be a life enriching, we'll show some love.
Yeah, so what I'm hearing is you want to see beyond the actions, even like the person that killed Floyd, that you want to see the kind of beyond that to the humanity, to the feelings and needs beyond it, and to have feeling of care and love for everyone.
Yeah. And maybe I don't understand something from the movement of Black Lives Matter. Because I've seen those whom we brand as whites also demonstrating. They are also in the movement. So I'm trying to think that there may be something behind, or there are some forces. You know, the world nowadays, it's sad, but then we also have to agree that to particular percentage, politics drives a number of things. And being that there is an election in America, upcoming election, maybe politicians are also taking that advantage. And they're taking the advantage to maybe to break the country, the American country, further. Because one of the slogans that I don't really enjoy, or I don't even want to imagine, that most politicians, not all, uses is divide and rule. So if such a thing comes to me as a trainer, I would really love to know more, because it's like there is something behind what I said in my simple language. There's something behind the curtain. And so I've also love checked with Adrian if he was as somebody who's not a trainer but enjoys doing NVC, what is post, if he was in a position to connect to the impact of his force to the needs of those who are in the group. But if it was not going to serve the interest of many, or the interest, or it was not going to bring love to the group, then if I were him, I could have not posted it there, or I could have not posted it completely, and I could have connected to people who are doing peace, what we call Black Lives Matter movement.
So I'm not sure I quite understand that, but the first part was that you're wondering what's behind Black Lives Matter, like what is the sort of the issues behind it? Is it related to political divide issues? Is there, so you're kind of like just wondering, but I also hear that you want to hear the feelings and needs behind that too, behind that, the people.
Yeah.
And then with Adrian, you're thinking that he could have approached it differently too, to have more care for people in the group. I wasn't quite clear on that part.
Okay, what I mean is that if I were Adrian, I could have checked if what I was going to post, how it will resonate to the members of the group, with the needs of the members in the group. Because as I was talking to him, I told you I talked to him, and he was just saying, is indeed concerned, and what I heard is that he's not supporting racism, but that he is worried. Black Lives Matter. So what are we doing? Do we just move around and say Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter? Will that mean other people's life does not matter? So in other words, Adrian's maybe if he's given some space, then he will explain what the intention of what he means. But what I was receiving from him is that, fine, there have been something that has happened, and this, what has happened is not life-serving to many. As those who are called black and white, why don't we come together and transform those whom we think their life does not matter? So to him, it was more of a solution to a problem that is identified already. I wonder if you're really getting what I
Yeah, I'm
mean.
trying to follow. So let's see if I'm hearing, understand it, that you're wanting, you would like Adrian to be aware of the impact he's having on others in the group, and is what I understand, and that you also would like it to be life-serving. It's like, how do we relate in a way that is life-serving? And he has concerned about the Black Lives Matter, and I wasn't quite clear there that maybe that he just could have approached it. And the other part I was hearing is maybe give him space so he can explain himself too. So you would like maybe more space, sort of like we're doing here in the circle. We would give him more space to be able to share where he is, so we can sort of understand, so everyone can understand more where he's coming from. But that he could also try to be more aware of, being more life-serving for others in the group too. I don't know if that was it or.
Partly,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Just to add or make more clarity,
Mm-hmm.
is that from what I was receiving from Adrian is concerned. He seems to be aware that yes, there is a problem. So he's moving another step to check what are we doing when there is a problem. Both whites and blacks will come together to support those whom we think have a problem. Instead of what it comes as to him, he was seeing like preaching the division.
Oh, okay. So you're trying to understand Adrian, and you think from his point of view, he is trying to bring blacks and whites together instead of create division. So you
Yes,
feel
that
that
is
he
what.
is actually wants to bring people together.
Yes, and he wants people to come together and to support those whom we are branding right now as that their life does not matter.
Uh-huh. So
Yeah,
he
that
wants
is
to
what.
bring people together and say, all your lives matter. If you're white, your life matters. If you're black, that there is sort of everybody's needs, basically, I get, or feelings and needs matter.
Yeah.
So you're just trying
That
to
is,
understand him. So that's your understanding of where he's coming from.
yeah, that is my understanding.
Mm-hmm.
And I also told you what I understand from Adrian's, from Ray. Ray was, as I said earlier, was trying to protect the image of the group.
Mm-hmm.
And to him, because I've also talked to Ray in person through chats we have exchanged. I told you Adrian approached me for mediation.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been in connection with Ray, and Ray has a feeling to me that as I thought that Adrian is a racist, and sorry. Um, just a minute. Sorry
Sure.
for the interaction.
No problem.
Yeah. Um. No. So what I've received from him is that he values and is in support that every life matters. Every life matters. That is one thing I've received from him.
So you're looking at how you understand Ray, and you feel that Ray feels that every life matters, is what I'm understanding.
Yes, though from Adrian, he received something different. And this is why I was for the opinion that he ought to have connected with Adrian. Because what I received from Adrian and what I received from the video, it is one video and post that I'm receiving differently. And from this very post, Ray equally is receiving something differently.
So people are interpreting the video differently, and Ray is interpreting it as racist, and you see it as something else. You have a different interpretation, and I imagine Adrian sees it differently. So people are just seeing the same video differently. They have different views or understandings of what it means.
Yes. So it could have not, to me, caused a lot of frustration that we are in and the confusion we are in if we could have just reached out and connect to the needs of Adrian and maybe try to check with him the intention and what he really means by the videos that he and the posts that he have been putting across. Because for me, both Ray and Adrian speak from the means same thing, though sharing them with different words.
So you think that they have the same intention, but they just are using different words, and you would like you would have liked the approach of just reaching out, if Ray had just reached out maybe privately to Adrian to try to understand what the meaning was for him. That would have been sort of the approach that you would have liked.
Yes. So that is what I would have loved to share.
Okay.
And I'm just open to any. I'm still also in a learning process, and it's challenging, and then I flow with the flow.
Yeah, so it's a challenging problem, but you're still learning, and you'll just go with kind of the direction that it goes. And it sounds like that's sort of where you're coming from. It's just that's sort of your position, and you're willing to continue with doing a restorative empathy circle. So
Yes,
yeah.
and I will not be in a position. I will not be happy to classify others as black or white.
So you don't want to come
Because,
from a position of seeing people as black or white. You want to see their humanity, their character, common humanity.
yeah, and I also enjoy to see people connect from needs and feeling perspective. Yeah, from need and feeling perspective, as there's something that happened. Anyway, this may be out of what we're discussing, but then it is in a way connected. When COVID-19 pandemic started, the first people who I would say stood with us here. I'm staying in an island, in Rusinga Island. Are those whom we are now branding as whites. They collected some support. They gave vulnerable families here. I'm certain they could have not done that if they think the people of my color does not matter. They could, because they were contributing to the people they have never seen. And it was amazing. Most of them, most of the people who participated are people I've never met or I've never seen in person. These
So
are
it sounds
people
like
now.
you're very moved that there were people who contributed, kind of supported your community there around the COVID, and you didn't even had never even seen them. They hadn't seen you, but and they were white, and they had contributed to help your community.
Yes, and from the news I'm receiving, uh, the COVID has affected Europe than even Africa, and the people now we brand as whites and blacks went into their pockets, contributed for somebody in Africa, in an island, so that this person cannot die from anger, from COVID. Seriously? And now I want to say their life does not matter.
Yeah, so you don't
Everybody's
want
life.
to, yeah, so you would not tell those people that were supportive that their lives don't matter. You would, yeah.
Yeah. To me, everyone, every being, every living thing in this world, even a tree's life matter to me.
Mm-hmm. So you just see that
And
every being, every person, even a tree, kind of matters. So you want to, that's
any
your view.
living thing,
Living thing. Mm-hmm.
its lives matter. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I would love a world where we connect compassionately. We connect through the heart and not the thoughts that we have, because from the head, this many things happen, and labels and judgments. There's a lot of enemy images built. I really long to see a world where you now, Adrian, Edwin, will say, hello, Samwel. We speak as if we had met. We connect, and this works better if we connect on needs level and the
Mm-hmm.
feelings. It
Yeah.
works.
Mm-hmm. That's
It works
very.
very well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you would like to really, what I'm hearing is you really like to connect at the heart level, which is feelings and needs, and not just from judgments, and just sort of have that compassion, sort of a universal compassion. And that's sort
Yeah.
of the direction that you're wanting to go and trying to support.
Yeah.
Just makes a better world, more life-serving.
And I would love to see Adrian's and Ray being brother skipper.
Mm-hmm.
It's possible, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Because as I was talking to Ray, he said maybe to be free is to block each other, to stop connecting, and we need each other.
Mm-hmm.
We need each other. We really need to do something to leave this world better than we found it.
Yeah, you'd
Better
really
in
like to
terms of
see.
peace.
Oh, sorry. You'd like to see Ray and Adrian come together, and really, that's kind of the direction you'd like to go. Is what I'm hearing.
Yes, and I'm equally aware that with mediation and empathic, we leave it to happen. What happens?
Mm-hmm.
We may have wishes as human beings, but then we let the flow of events takes them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Though I would really plead and request that if our brothers, that is Ray, and any other person who is involved, to connect on the needs and feeling level. This will, for me, be very beautiful, and it will be more life-serving.
Yeah, so you realize that you have what you would like is to have a more life-serving connection, connect that feelings and needs, but you just, and they would come together around that, but you also say you just go with the flow. You don't have any, it just go with whatever happens to let sort of evolve, whatever will evolve, or whatever. Yeah. You know, whatever.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then to the group, NVC community is like a drop in an ocean. And when we start a movement or a group like the Facebook page or group, I have a feeling, or something is telling me, not a feeling, something is telling my head or my brain that not everyone in that group are practicing nonviolent communication. That is a judgment anyway. And why are we nonviolent communication community? I asked myself this when I saw what was happening and people left in the group. One of the things that I had is that we are nonviolent community to connect to those who are violent. We need to connect to those whom we suspect or brand as violent. Those who are doing things that are not connecting with our feelings and needs. And when a scenario of that magnitude happens in a group, if I were admin, I will not send somebody away. I will connect to that person.
So what I'm
And
hearing,
this is what
I would
have loved to see in the group.
Okay.
To connect, to connect to those whom, yes, to connect to those whom we think are not communicating what we term as nonviolence. When we just have those who speak nonviolence in a group and send away those whom we label or we think are violent, then I think it will take us time to connect. In my primary school level, I was taught that we learn by seeing, by touch, the 4 components of observation. All these are a process on which we learn. So people being in that group is also a process of learning. And when I post something that does not resonate to your needs, kindly let's connect to these people through their needs. What is alive in them by posting this? And how do they feel? That's all I have.
Okay. So what I'm hearing is this is a nonviolent communication group, and there's people who might be seen as violent, but the way to deal with that is to reach out to them and hear their feelings and needs. And that there's it's a learning process. You can kind of learn by doing that. If you're just, and you don't want to like banish people, you want to reach out to them instead. And that's sort of pretty much what you have to say, and that's sort of your approach, what you would like to see.
Yes, because I believe learning only ends when I'm dead.
Learning ends when you're dead.
Yeah, that's when learning ends. I'm certain that I also hope that when Marshall was going around, he was also learning a lot of things as he was teaching a nonviolent communication. He was learning most things like social change in different places he was going. So um, I will not say that certified trainers are excellent. I won't say that. I am, but I'm not excellent. I get annoyed. At times I'm in pain. At times I also overreact. That is human to me. That's just human. Sometimes I even after sensing that I laugh and say, "Oh, so I'm also a human being."
Yeah. So
I don't
even
want
if
to
you're
criticize.
even if you're a certified trainer, you're still human and you're still learning and you still have frustrations and pain and you're not perfect. You're not perfectly nonviolent. And
I'm not perfect.
mhm.
I'm not, and we should not say trainers or admins or those who are not trainers
Mm-hmm.
are excellent. I will say no to that.
So don't put them in a special category of being perfect. It's like we're
Yeah.
all humans, we're all learning, we're all growing, have some understanding, for that. And yeah.
Yeah. So
Hmm.
that's all I would
Okay.
say. I've
Yeah.
talked so much, and then
Well,
I've
good. That's
talked so much, but then I love to express myself when given a space. Um, and I want to say I love everyone, and I would really love to see our brothers, whom I would say right now that who have different views on social change, on Black Lives Matters, to be brought so that we connect more on needs and feeling perspective.
mhm. Okay. Well, this was a pre-circle just to hear your views because you want to be part of the circle. I'm reaching out to the others and doing pre-circles, and then if you want to continue, we'll schedule a time and bring everyone together, maybe for 3 hours, and just talk about these issues together as a full group. And it will be recorded and posted, so others will be able to see and learn and grow from the process as well. Um, so if
Yeah,
you're ready, it sounds like you're ready to continue. So I think we're kind of good. Then
and I'm, 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 I'm done. Yes, I'm done, and I would love to connect to everyone.
okay. Great. Then I'll stop the recording here. And